Look at the starting lineups as Jacqueline Gant and Simeon Carter go at it for the opening tip. Georgia Southern will start first. Starting lineups for the Eagles: Tukey Brown, Quan Jackson, Simeon Carter, David Lee Jones, and Isaiah Crawley. First shot off the mark, offensive rebound by Crawley. The Eagles have another opportunity, and Tukey Brown shoots a three and misses.
Got a lot of great offensive rebounders here on display. Jacqueline Gant leads the Sun Belt right now in offensive rebounding. And short right after him is Monte Glenn of Georgia Southern. So it'll be exciting to see those two go at it.
Three ball rolls off from P.J. Hardy, making his third start on the year. David Lee Jones now gets the screen from Carter. Simeon Carter will take a three, and he knocks down the first bucket for the Eagles. He's looking to bounce back after only having 1 point in the Eagles' win over Louisiana Monroe at the free throw line. The starting lineups for Louisiana: Cedric Russell, P.J. Hardy, Jacqueline Gant, Marcus Stroman, and Justin Miller. Foul on the floor. The Raging Cajuns will inbound from the baseline. And Marcus Stroman, the point guard for Louisiana, currently leads the conference in assists per game, averaging over 6.5.
And not your ideal point guard. 6'2", almost upwards of 200 pounds. Very, very strong, but he is so athletic, so quick. You can watch it on display here.
He is a pass-first point guard as Gant's first shot can't go. Rebound by Crawley. These are the top two offensive scoring teams in the conference. Georgia Southern averaging 85 points a game. Louisiana at 82. As Carter works on Gant down low, the hook shot won't go. Rebound by Miller. And Justin Miller, another offensive rebounder, averaging over 2 per game. So you're going to see the top three offensive rebounders in tonight's game. Monte Glenn will check in later on as Tukey Brown breaks through a defender and scores. Raging Cajuns wasting no time. Hardy goes up and he'll draw a foul.
Georgia Southern foul. It's on number 4, Tukey Brown, his first.
So Tukey Brown going to pick up his first foul. P.J. Hardy will shoot 2 at the line. Junior out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. A 75% free throw shooter. This is the first, and the Raging Cajuns are second in the conference in free throw percentage at 75%.
Two high-scoring offenses. Really having to get it done with some players, some of their starters not being able to go.
Louisiana and Georgia Southern have had some injuries plague them throughout the year. David Lee Jones will draw a foul of his own, and he'll shoot 2. We talk about players that are absent. Malik Marchetti, the senior from Compton, California, out for the year, suffered a season-ending knee injury against Southeastern Louisiana. So with his absence, P.J. Hardy steps into the starting lineup. Here's David Lee Jones. Hits the first, junior out of Tampa, Florida. And we'll have a substitution early as we'll see the freshman Elijah McCadden check in for Isaiah Crawley.
McCadden has worked his way up and gotten more starting time since the season began. Georgia Southern sees a lot of potential in McCadden. Really good freshman.
One of 2 freshmen to get a lot of minutes for this Eagle roster as Jones hits both of his free throws. Already 7-1 in the opening minutes. Georgia Southern with a 6-point lead.
This is the same issue the Raging Cajuns had up against Georgia State. Got off to a slow start. Georgia State was making their shots, and eventually they just put themselves in a hole that they had to get themselves out of, and they were not able to do it.
Jones on the other end. Can't finish. Rebound, Jacqueline Gant.
Gotta love the aggressiveness of David Lee Jones, though, taking it right to Gant.
Miller, nobody around him, and he knocks down a 3. First made field goal for Louisiana after missing their first 4 shots. Brown, up and under, and what a move by the senior Tukey Brown. And on the other end, Marcus Stroman able to score.
Tukey Brown, 4-year senior here at Georgia Southern, has been an absolutely dominant player in his time here. In fact, he's been so good at scoring, getting to the basket in his 4 years that he is now only 19, with his 4 points right now, he's only 19 points away from reaching 2,000 career points, and he is 8th on the list for most career points among active players in the NCAA.
He's also the all-time leading scorer in Georgia Southern history in the Division I era. Nice feed from Jackson to McCadden down low. He can't get the first shot to go. Gets the offensive rebound and puts it back in. Georgia Southern 3 of 9. Make that now 4 of 10 from the field to start. Stroman to Gant. Gant bobbles it, loses it, but it goes off of Quan Jackson. 11 left on the shot clock as we have some substitutions for Georgia Southern. Calvin Wishart, the other freshman who has gotten a lot of minutes, and Monte Glenn checking in for the first time this evening.
Wishart getting about 16.2 minutes per game. Only got about 5 points per game, but he really does have his moments where he shows that potential of why they brought him to Georgia Southern.
Cedric Russell drains a 3 and puts the Raging Cajuns within 2. And here's a freshman, Wishart. Tried to get a pass to Quan Jackson, gets tipped out of bounds. Eagles will regain possession following the media timeout. 11-9, Georgia Southern up early in the first half. We'll be right back with more on ESPN+. Win in that thriller of a game this past Thursday against Louisiana Monroe.
Absolutely. What a way to get your 100th win in very dramatic fashion. Georgia Southern had only led once until the end of the game. They led with just a few minutes left. ULM eventually would tie it, and that would force, took the lead again, and that would force the game-winning shot by Quan Jackson.
And Byington, one of 5 coaches, the 5th coach in Georgia Southern history to win 100 games with the Eagles. Monte Glenn in for Georgia Southern. Glenn usually a starter for the Eagles, but suffered a deep bone bruise 16 seconds into the game against Dayton back in December 21st. And he has slowly worked his way back in. It was a game-time decision Thursday against the Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe. Had valuable minutes, 10 points and 6 rebounds. And he'll be on limited minutes tonight as he's double-teamed. Kicks out to Quan Jackson. 3 on the shot clock. Jackson goes up and scores.
Absolutely. And talk about Monte Glenn. You hear this at 16 seconds into that game where he got that bone bruise. That really exemplifies the kind of player that he is. When he is on the court, he's going to give you 110%. One of the best rebounders, not only in the Sun Belt, but in the country. Last season finished second in offensive rebounding and nationwide, and now he's second again in the Sun Belt, only behind, of course, Jakeenan Gant. His career high in rebounds was 16, and that was back against Savannah State back on December 9th of last season.
So he's a guy that needs to battle with Gant here tonight.
In his time on the court, and having him coming off the bench is a big boost.
Tukey Brown gets it over Jakeenan Gant. Off the high glass and score. He has 6 points so far. Stroman on the other end throws it up, and he'll draw a foul.
Looks like Tukey knows he only needed 23 points coming in today's game to set 2,000 points, and he thought tonight might have been a good night to reach that. He is off to a really good start.
Well, he had 22 points and 7 assists in the win on Thursday night. Here's Marcus Stroman at the line, the senior from Columbia, South Carolina. Hits the first free throw. He averages 12 points and over 6.5 assists per game. He's a pass-first point guard, and he learned to share the basketball when he was a kid growing up because he had a lot of siblings, and he had to learn to share. And that explains how he's able to facilitate the basketball. Four-point game after Stroman hits both of his free throws.
Marcus Stroman, a player that's very familiar with current teammate Jakeenan Gant. They actually played on the same AAU team when they were kids. It helps with their chemistry, having that experience a long time ago, seeing how Jakeenan Gant has developed and as well as developed himself. Transferred from South Carolina and found some really good playing time here with the Cajuns.
Can't hit the three there. Rebound, McCadden. McCadden finds Tukey Brown. Now down low to Monte Glenn. And an offensive foul be called as Jarekus Davis takes the charge down low.
Great job by Davis getting to his spot, getting his feet set and hands in position to draw the charge from Glenn. Such a hard skill to learn, to be able to time it perfectly to where you see the run coming in from Glenn and getting yourself in position perfectly. Jarekus did a great job there.
And Davis, one of the guys for Louisiana who can step up and be that third option for the Raging Cajuns. This 1-2 punch of Stroman and Gant. You have guys like Justin Miller as well. Gant down low on the post on Isaiah Crawley, goes up, and he gets his first points.
Just needs that first one to get himself into a rhythm. If he gets going, he's going to be in for an explosive, high-scoring day.
And in the two games that he's at 45 and 36 against Sun Belt Conference opponents, it's not like he had one better half than the other. He stayed consistent throughout all 40 minutes of basketball. Takes a three there. That one misses. So far, he's 1 for 4 to start.
All those NBA scouts looking for guys that you might not find from your traditional powerhouse programs. This guy is definitely someone that should be on NBA teams' radar. Has good size, good strength, and can really do it all.
Brown, kick out to Calvin Wishart at the corner. 3-ball off the right iron. Louisiana in transition. Currently they're shooting 36% from the floor, but 2 of 4 from beyond the three-point line. Cedric Russell up top. Justin Miller hesitated and then fires. Takes a high bounce and offensive rebound by Gant. Pass intercepted by Isaiah Crawley into the hands of Tukey Brown. Brown going to go all the way, and he gets fouled. Brown tried to let the referee know he was going up for a shot, so Brown should be going to the line. However,
no, it looks like it's going to be inbounded.
A foul on the floor. Simeon Carter and Quan Jackson back in for the Eagles. Carter, high post, drops down. Another foul on the floor. That'll be the 4th team foul for Louisiana. Georgia Southern with 4 team fouls as well. But the 2nd team foul for Justin Miller. So early foul trouble will take Miller out of the game. Nice inbound. Jackson goes up and scores off the assist from Wishart.
Quan Jackson, you saw him trying to go for the dunk there. So just so athletic and such a great ability to get to the rim.
Jackson 11th in the conference scoring, averaging 16 points a game. 3-ball knocked down by Jeremy Hayes, junior out of Roseland, Louisiana. Wishart was going to answer back. Jackson will drive. He'll go with the left hand. He'll draw a foul. He will shoot 2 after the media timeout. 17-16, Georgia Southern with the lead. More action coming up here after the break.
Timeout on the floor. Eagle fans, direct your attention to the court. For the Savannah Hilton
Domino's delivery drivers are experts at handling bad roads.
With the program, and Holden Merlin has done such a great job with the Raging Cajuns. Last season they were 27-7, 16-2 in the Sun Belt Conference. They were the regular season champions before losing in the semifinals to UT Arlington by 3 points.
Quan Jackson at the line for the Eagles, shooting 2.
Quan Jackson at the line, shooting 2, knocks down the first. And also for Marlin and the Raging Cajuns, he's led them to 4 20-win seasons in the last 5 years. And the one time where they didn't win 20 games, they were 19-15 in the 2015-2016 season.
Does such a great job with recruiting and really knows how to coach good offensive players. And since the 2013-14 season, Louisiana has scored 80 or more points in a game 99 times, and that ranks 5th amongst all Division I schools behind North Carolina, BYU, Gonzaga, and Duke.
Brown finds Quan Jackson in the corner. That three-pointer can't go. Rebounded by Mason Okwan. Stroman kicks out to Oakland, and an offensive foul is called. Quan Jackson takes a charge. It'll be the first foul for Stroman. Brown floats it up and gets it off the backboard.
How many times have Georgia Southern fans seen that? Tuki going up and laying it off the glass over everyone.
He's off to a hot start, 4 of 5. He only missed with a three-point attempt. Hayes kicks out to Stroman, and Stroman called for traveling. Be the 4th turnover for Louisiana.
They're going to have to limit that because this run-and-gun style offense, Georgia Southern capitalizes on turnovers so well.
And head coach Bob Marlin said he did not like the way the team came out to start against Georgia State on Thursday. They gave up too many three-pointers, and they did not defend well early on. As Wishart goes up, he can't get the shot to go.
Coach Marlin got to be a little happier so far with how this team's starting out, even though they're still down.
Oakland gets it off after Gant recovers. 3 at the corner. Doesn't get the lucky roll. Crawley tips it. Possession goes to Georgia Southern. Jackson. Oakland gets the interception. Hayes. Nice little Euro step, but can't finish. Tuki Brown back to Isaiah Crawley. Crawley goes up and throws it down.
This Georgia Southern team loves to dunk. You saw them doing a lot in warm-ups, doing behind the back, in between the leg dunks. They could really electrify the crowd and get the crowd back on their feet instantly with their ability to just damage and assault the rim.
And this team has a lot of bounce, and as you were saying, Holden, in warm-ups they have themselves a bit of a miniature dunk contest.
Yeah,
and you saw Isaiah Crawley go behind the back.
Yeah.
Something we haven't seen, as the three-pointer takes a high bounce from Hayes. Louisiana now 3 of 8 from the on the arc. Jackson, the triple. Short.
Georgia Southern, like I said earlier, thrives off the turnovers. Already 6 points off turnover tonight. Quan Jackson, though, one of the best in the Sun Belt Conference at taking away balls and forcing turnovers. 2nd in the Sun Belt in steals and 19th nationally. So really great vision and good IQ by Jackson helps Georgia Southern get a lot of points.
Wishart finds Brown. Brown able to save it. Runs into Marlin on the corner. But the Raging Cajuns have it, and in transition, an offensive foul as Wishart goes down. Stroman is going to pick up his 2nd.
Head coach Marlin does not like that call all the way out, looking like he's trying to substitute himself into the game.
Well, we'll have substitutions from both teams. Louisiana having some trouble right now. They have not scored in the last 3 minutes, missed their last 4 shots, and committed 3 turnovers in the process.
And now for Coach Marlin, the jacket is off to have a little more room. Seems like it might be one of those games where he's going to need some motion to help, try and command his team who find themselves down by 4 here.
It's very important to have that mobility as the head coach on the side. Here at the 8-minute mark, Georgia Southern with a 4-point lead. The Eagles shooting well, 43% from the field. Elijah McCadden for three. He can't get it to fall. Rebound Miller. A good find. Oakland for three. That goes in and out. Neither team has been able to really knock down shots from beyond the arc. Dookie Brown's three is off. The Eagles now 1 of 9.
A lot of trends running out right now for Louisiana. Not a lot of good ones. 0 for 5 on their last field goals. One of 7 actually.
Make it now 1 of 8 as Stroman can't get the floater to go. Brown, nice feed inside the Monte Glenn. Offensive foul on Glenn as Miller takes a charge, and Bob Marlin likes the call. We'll have more on this game after the media timeout. Eagles up by 4 on ESPN+. Neither team able to score in the last 2 minutes as we welcome you back on ESPN+. We feature Quan Jackson at the start of the broadcast. For more on Jackson, we send it to our sideline reporter, Griffin Lale. Griffin.
Danny, coming into this season, Quan Jackson wasn't necessarily branded as a superstar, but he certainly has become one, averaging 16 points a game and, of course, hitting that game-winning three against ULM on Thursday night. That not the only clutch late three-pointer he's had in his career. In the high school state championship in Florida against the current Atlanta Hawk, John Collins, Quan Jackson hit a very similar three-pointer to send that game into overtime. Late game three is nothing new for Georgia Southern's Quan Jackson. Guys.
Thank you, Griffin. Justin Miller couldn't hit the three. It goes out of bounds. It'll be Eagle possession. And the Raging Cajuns have gone cold here in the last couple of minutes. It's been, for them, over 4.5 minutes without a point scored. The Eagles cold as well, but not as cold as McCadden's stripped away. And the Eagles get it right back. Alley-oop. Oh, denied at the rim by R.J. Gladney. But a foul is going to be called. Beautiful
Vicious
setup.
block.
Beautiful setup from David Lee Jones to Isaiah Crawley, but an even better block by the freshman Gladney.
Gladney was not about to let a play like that get the crowd into it.
It looked like it was a 2-on-1 transition.
Yeah.
He had a couple of guys in the back. As Crawley knocks down the free throw.
And like we said, talking earlier about the dunk contest that was going on pregame, we saw a couple alley-oops, so David Lee Jones and Crawley trying to spark some of that fire that they had earlier.
And Crawley had himself a tremendous game against Louisiana Monroe with double-double, 17 points and 12 rebounds. Also knocked down 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Goes 2 for 2 and increases the Eagle lead to 6. These teams only met one time last year in conference play, where other years they face each other twice, and this year they'll face each other twice. But that one game last season was a high-scoring affair, with the Raging Cajuns coming out with the win as a three is hit by P.J. Hardy.
A lot of differences, though, between this Georgia Southern team from last year and this year.
Jackson with the assist from Brown. His three is short. Hardy finds a cutting Jakeenan Gantz on the outlet and slams it home, puts the Raging Cajuns within 1.
That is his 27th dunk of the season. The team as a whole, though, only has 34 dunks. So a lot of that athleticism, scoring, and dunk and flash comes from Jakeenan Gant. No, I don't think anyone's surprised by that, though.
And Tougie Brown with the floater is now in double figures, 10 points. Jakeenan Gant, 3 of 7. Now down low in the post, Jarekus Davis, fade away, good. On the other end, David Lee Jones denied.
Surprised the foul's not called there. It looks like some of the Cajuns got David Lee Jones' head as he was going up for that, but a no call leads to a can't layup, and now for the first time, Louisiana has a lead.
Jones can't hit the three. Now on the other end, Louisiana with a 1-point lead. They look to extend that lead. The timeout going to be called by Bob Marlin. So while we have a break in the action, I look at the players that we've featured. Jakeenan Gant already with 8 points and 7 rebounds, have not shot well from beyond the arc. Both have taken 11 three-pointers. Louisiana hit 4. Georgia Southern just hit 1. That was a three-pointer by Simeon Carter.
Now looks like Georgia Southern's going to up the intensity on defense.
A tight man-on-man as the Raging Cajuns have hit their last 4 shots. Stroman to Miller. Not sure if that was a pass or a shot that went the other way. Meanwhile, Jakeenan Gant knocks down his first 3 ball.
He's starting to heat up here in the last few minutes. Now up to 11 points.
Jones kick out to Brown. Brown finds Jackson. Eagles rotating the ball. Jackson fires from deep. Offensive rebound, Isaiah Crawley. Pump fakes, goes up a second time and gets fouled. And he will shoot 2 following the final media timeout of the first half. Louisiana up to a 4-point lead here over Georgia Southern on ESPN+. First lead of the game as we welcome you back on ESPN+. This is the largest lead for Louisiana so far in the game, under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Isaiah Crawley at the line shooting 2. 9 team fouls for Louisiana. So the Eagles in the bonus, 1 more away from a double bonus.
You mentioned too, talking about earlier, but didn't get to elaborate much on about the difference between this Georgia Southern team from last year's is the addition of players like Crawley and Simeon Carter. Crawley, a transfer to Columbia State, and he's the guy that even if someone like Tukey or Quan might not be having the best night, some of your top options, they can get to the basket and they can score too. It helps spark the offense, and that was one thing Georgia Southern's been missing the last couple years. You know, if it wasn't Tukey Brown or Ike Smith scoring, they might not be able to put up more than 50 points in a game, but it's not the case this year. And that was why they were one of the preseason favorites.
Jakeenan Gant gets a second chance opportunity and scores. Almost at a double-double, 11 points, 8 rebounds. Passes tipped. Raging Cajuns in transition. Here's a 3 at the corner. Does not get the lucky bounce. P.J. Hardy missing there. And you are right, Holden. The Eagles have added a couple of extra scorers into their arsenal. Offensive rebound. Glenn gets the putback and scores. With guys like Isaiah Crawley, like we talked about, and Simeon Carter, who had to sit out last year due to transfer rules, a transfer from Iowa State.
Offensive foul. Georgia Southern's going to get the ball back. One area that, when you look across the stat line, it is pretty even for most parts. Only one of the main differences is Georgia Southern has 8 points off turnovers, while Louisiana only has 2.
It's been an evenly matched contest here in the first half. As Calvin Wishart checks in for Georgia Southern. He comes in for David Lee Jones. Under 3 minutes left to play. Georgia Southern down by 3. Wishart open at the wing. Fires and knocks it down. Tie game.
Such a smooth stroke he's got. Such a quick release. Hard to defend.
Stroman kicks out to Hardy. Hardy to Gant. Gant will take a 3, and he knocks one down. And this may be another game where Gant has an explosive performance. Not sure. He may have a chip on his shoulder He was the Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year last year. Wishart takes a three, can't go. And in the preseason, Gant was only a preseason second-team nominee.
Seems kind of silly now that we're so far in the season and he's playing the way he is. And like I said, he probably got that chip on his shoulder.
We're making the case for it to be a first-team selection by the end of the year.
Absolutely.
I mean, being able to come in after sitting out, he transferred from Missouri. Made an impact in the Sun Belt Conference. As you said at the top of the broadcast, Holden, he can do it all on offense and defense. He's 5th in the league in scoring, 5th in rebounds, leads the conference in field goal percentage at 55%. And also 1st in the conference in blocks as P.J. Hardy knocks down both free throws. Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Crawley in the post, blocked and denied by R.J. Gladney. Eagles get it back. Step back three for Quan Jackson. It's good.
Georgia Southern would like to have Jackson stepping up too. He's doing a good job of getting to the basket and scoring per usual. Right now they're trailing. They need someone else to step up, and Quan Jackson stepping up as he usually does.
He now has 8 points and is now 1 of 5 from the three-point line. Stroman to Gladney. And a good block down low by Monte Glenn, but they're going to call a foul. He doesn't like the call made by the official.
Looks like he got all ball to me.
That's his third.
So Glenn with his 3rd foul, and he'll be checked out here in a moment.
Gladney at the line, shooting 2.
Officials for tonight's game, Landon Brands, John Dillon, and Errol Lewis. The first free throw in and out by Gladney.
Returning to the game for the Eagles, number 23, Simeon Carter.
So Glenn will be done for the first half. Isaiah Crawley will come back in. Gladney can't hit either, but a tip by Jarekus Davis. Clock did not start. And now Marlin was trying to see what was going on, talking to the official. Needs to be careful before he receives a technical foul.
Almost got one earlier.
Jackson, another three. That one off. Stroman off the screen. Gant kicks out to Hardy for three. It's good.
Raging Cajuns are starting to catch fire from beyond the arc.
Well, keep in mind, Holden, this is the same predicament Georgia Southern was in on Thursday against Louisiana Monroe. They shot 8 of 16 from three in the first half, but were cold in the second. Louisiana now 7 of 15 from deep. Shot and game clock separated by about 3 seconds. Brown, shot clock at 6. Crawley will shoot a three. They answer back, no good. Jackson gets the offensive rebound, loses it. Stroman picks it up. 2 seconds to go, and he is blocked at the buzzer. Good defensive play made by Isaiah Crawley, preventing R.J. Gladney to score. And there should be a foul, and there will be a foul.
Fouls on the Eagles, number 53, Isaiah Crawley, his second.
So Crawley picks up his second foul. So another big man for Georgia Southern in foul trouble. Justin Miller in foul trouble for Louisiana. And that explains why Gladney has gotten some playing time in the first half. So with multiple big men in foul trouble for the Eagles, you got the 7'1" redshirt freshman Tyshawn Crawford waiting to check in. Now, the game clock has expired for the first half, so this should be it after these free throws are taken, or they're going to check and see how much time they're going to put back on the clock.
0.9 seconds on the clock.
I mean, 0.9
9
seconds
Shooting 2 for the Cajuns.
left. So Gladney going to shoot 2. This is his 5th game this season.
Checking into the game for the Eagles, number 35, Tyshawn Crawford.
And the last game he played was against Little Rock last Saturday. Did not play against Georgia State. Both Bob Marlin and Mark Byington have a tight rotation, playing about 8 or 9 guys each game. So Gladney hits both free throws, and Tukey Brown calls a timeout for the Eagles. There's 0.3 seconds left. So
they're going to try and get another shot off.
Not sure if they'll have enough 3/4 of the way down the floor.
While Raging Cajuns go big, Georgia Southern go small. Wishart, Jackson, Brown, and David Lee Jones.
So Wishart, the inbounder. Brown going to throw it up. Won't hit the rim, and that'll end the first half. Louisiana on a 7-0 run to end the first half. 9-point lead over Georgia Southern. More halftime stats when we come back after the break on ESPN+. On a 7-0 run, Jakeenan Gant now in rhythm. What does Georgia Southern need to do to stop the Raging Cajuns and Gant here in the second half?
Well, I think they need to put a little more pressure defensively. Raging Cajuns were getting a lot of open looks from downtown, and that's when they started to hit those. So maybe a little more man-to-man intense pressure. I know that takes a lot of energy out of you, but Mark Byington is very good at analyzing the issues and making good halftime adjustments. And I think that a little more pressure defensively is one thing that could help. Just like that one right there, wide open at the top of the key, and he drains a 3 to start for the Cajuns.
And so Cedric Russell gets things going for Louisiana with that 3 ball. Isaiah Crawley thought he was fouled, was blocked, and the ball goes off of Crawley. So they go back to Louisiana. However, Mark Byington for Georgia Southern has done a great job being able to make second half adjustments. We saw it on Thursday, down by 11 against Louisiana Monroe. Way back in the beginning of the season, they were down by 20 against George Mason, and they were able to fight their way back in that game. They made a hard-fought comeback against Dayton, only losing to them by 4. So this Georgia Southern team, sometimes they hold different teams in the second half. We'll see if they'll do the same here.
Yeah, they're going to have to outscore the Cajuns by 12 if they want to try and tie this game up or win it in the second half. That's a tall task if Gant is going to keep scoring the way he has been in the first half.
Gant down low in the post, and Jackson may have gotten a piece of it. 3 seconds on the shot clock. The Raging Cajuns won't have much time off the inbound. Stroman, the inbounder, finds Miller, floats it up, and it's good.
Basket by Justin Miller.
Brown, Euro steps, can't get the finish. Carter almost had the second chance effort. Alley-oop, Stroman to Gant. Gant can't finish on the alley. 3-on-2 for the Eagles. Crawley will draw a foul down low. And it looks like it'll be on Justin Miller, and if so, that'll be his 3rd on the night.
I don't think he was set. Looks like he was still moving in position.
Fouls on the Cajuns, number 55, Justin Miller. That's his 3rd. First team foul in the half. Returning to the
So
game.
Miller exits early. You may not see him until about the 10-minute mark. Got to preserve him with 3 fouls. Brown kicks out to Carter. Carter for 3. Offensive rebound. Crawley runs into a wall, and he'll get fouled.
A couple fouls early on for the Raging Cajuns.
Number 0, Cedric Russell, his 3rd.
They probably should try to stay out of the possession. Georgia Southern, known when the other team is in the bonus, when they are in the bonus, they will attack the rim and force you to foul them and try to get some free shots.
Crawley misses the first, and now another Cajun in foul trouble. Cedric Russell picks up his third. And Coach Marlin will keep him in for now as Crawley goes 1 for 2 at the line. Stroman looking, will let Gant work down low on the low block. Stroman kicks out to Russell for 3. He knocks it down. An 8-1 run to start the second half for the Cajuns. Jones drives in, kicks out to Brown. Brown will drive, finds Carter down low. He'll go up and score for Georgia Southern.
The issues right now for Georgia Southern defensive side are coming when they try to double team Gant. Saw this there a second ago when he was down in the paint. They put 2 on him.
Another 3 knocked down. This time Jarekus Davis, and Mark Byington's going to call a timeout. The Raging Cajuns have been on fire from deep, hitting all 3. Indiana came out on fire here to start the second half.
Absolutely. Came out of the half leading by 9. Now they are up 17 early, and Georgia Southern finds themselves in an even deeper hole. They don't have much time to try and get themselves out. They're going to have to find their offense here soon.
Louisiana started the second half 4 of 5 from the field, knocking down all 3 3-point shots. Simeon Carter kicks out to Isaiah Crawley. Crawley will drive down the baseline. Goes up, denied by Jakeenan Gant.
The Raging Cajuns not unfamiliar with Gant going up and getting emphatic blocks like that.
They're the reason why he leads the conference in blocks. David Lee Jones finds Tukey Brown at the corner, and Brown able to knock down a 3 of his own. His first made 3 after missing his previous 3. Gant down low and throws it down with authority.
Yeah, absolutely. Tukey Brown, I don't think there was much he was going to be able to do there to stop that.
It's almost no one noticed Gant down on the low block, on the baseline, I'm sorry.
I understand that, trying to put 2 up top to try and apply pressure and force a turnover. But if anyone on the team that you can leave, if there's anyone on the Cajuns that you don't want to leave unguarded, I think it might be Jakeenan Gant.
Simeon Carter at the line looking to complete the 3-point play. Elijah McAdam going to come in for David Lee Jones, and Monte Glenn will check in for the shooter Carter. Can't finish a 3-point play. Rebound Stroman. Cedric Russell thought about shooting from the corner. He'll kick it back out. Try to get it to Gant. It's denied. Tipped away. And possession will go to Georgia Southern.
Not sure why Russell went to go after that ball and try and get it. Looked like it went off Tukey Brown, but nonetheless, Georgia Southern with a chance here to get a free bucket.
Brown for 3 again. Short, rebound Stroman. He has 6 boards now. P.J. Hardy for 3. Couldn't get it to go, and Miller and Gant were both trying to go for the rebound. Jackson almost made the save, recovered by Crawley. And Stroman going to pick up a foul. That'll be his 3rd. So multiple players in foul trouble, 3 fouls each. Russell, Miller, and now Stroman.
Have to be careful here. They're going to need those players down the stretch if Georgia Southern tries to pull this back at all.
Miller is out. R.J. Gladney back in. He's done a good job defensively for the Cajuns.
Had a couple big blocks.
Brown, high floater, gets the offensive rebound, goes up again, and scores.
That's 15 points night now for Tougie Brown, 8 points away from 2,000 career points.
Stroman over to Russell. They give it to Gant. Shot clock at 8. Stroman goes up, instead finds Gant. Gant can't hold on to it. Quan Jackson recovers for the Eagles. And Gant is down, and he's slow to get up. Meanwhile, on the other end, Quan Jackson scores, and Jakeenan Gant able to get up. We'll take a media timeout. Eagles cut the lead down to 10. More action coming up after the break. Jakeenan Gant, as you welcome me back on ESPN Plus, back out on the floor after going down, mishandling the pass.
Like
was stretching out his foot.
Yeah, it looks like he tweaked his right leg just a little bit.
But he is back on the floor. He has been the leading scorer for Louisiana, 18 points and 8 rebounds. The Eagles applying pressure, a 1-2-2 press, dropping back into a man-on-man. 5 minutes throughout the second half. Stroman finds Gant down low. Gant goes up, and he may have been blocked. Monte Glenn recovers for the Eagles. Brown to Jackson. That three goes in and out, and they say Jackson stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
That was the same transaction Thursday that helped Georgia Southern get the win over Louisiana Monroe. Brown driving down the floor, kicking out to Jackson in the corner for 3.
2 guys from the opposing team, this time the other team from Louisiana.
And an offensive foul on Stroman, and now we have some chippiness on the floor. But that's a big moment for the Eagles, and that is the 4th foul on Stroman. Here, take a look.
Yeah, a little too much contact.
They're pushing off on McCadden. So Stroman's out, and we may not see him for quite some time as Jarekus Davis checks back in.
Now Georgia Southern has cut that deficit down to 10. That was 1 point, it was 17.
Jackson, kick out to Brown. They swing it to McCadden. McCadden called for traveling. The 9th turnover for the Eagles this evening.
9 turnovers for Georgia Southern, but only 4 points off of turnovers for the Raging Cajuns. That margin's got to improve.
P.J. Hardy, the pass to Davis. Up top now to Russell.
I see Monte Glenn matched up on Gant.
Davis for 3, yes. Jarekus Davis, a 35% three-point shooter. He now has 10. Monte Glenn, deep 2. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, Crawley. And Crawley draws a foul.
Fouls on the Cajuns, number 11, Jarekus Davis, his second. Isaiah Crawley.
Jarekus Davis picking up his second foul. That's the 6th team foul for Louisiana. No team fouls for Georgia Southern so far in the half.
You got to give nod at the cap to Georgia Southern there, because as I said they might want to do in this half, is apply more pressure defensively on the Cajuns, which they have. You kind of seen a little more intensity on the man-to-man guarding. They have all not committed a foul with that more intense pressure, which is a sign of a really good disciplined team.
Possession stays with Louisiana. Crawley going 1 of 2 from the line, and the only player that's in foul trouble really is Monte Glenn. He had 3 in the first half. playing with a minutes restriction after suffering a deep bone bruise against Dayton.
Huge mismatch right now on the defensive side for the Eagles with Tukey Brown being switched onto Gant.
And Brown's going to pick up a foul for that, trying to establish his presence on the mismatch. So that's the first team foul for the Eagles. Gant with a handoff to Hardy. Three from Jerikas Davis is no good. Rebound Glenn. Jackson, baseline jumper. Off the right iron. Monte Glenn is there for the rebound and the putback.
Monte Glenn doing what he does best.
And a steal for Georgia Southern. Jackson.
Throws down the hammer, trying to get this crowd into the game.
Another steal, but they're going to call a foul first, and Byington can't believe it. Expressive on the side, and the officials say they went down on the arm.
Yeah, grabbed his wrist.
So Elijah McCadden will pick up a foul, his first. Louisiana careless with the basketball with 4 turnovers over the last 4 minutes. But they hold on to an 8-point lead. Russell, a long three, won't find the rim, but Justin Miller on the putback is fouled from behind by Brown.
I thought he got the ball there on that one.
Brown now with 3 fouls. So just like that, the Eagles commit 3 fouls in about the last 90 seconds. And Justin Miller hits the first, a junior from Beaver Dam, Kentucky. He had a big game in the beginning of the season as Louisiana had 2 tough contests against Tennessee and Kansas, and Miller was able to score a career-high 22 points against Kansas and knocks down both free throws at the line. Approaching the 12-minute mark, the Raging Cajuns increased their lead back to double digits. Tukey Brown denied by Gant. Now in transition, here's Jeremy Hayes. He's going to take it back out and give it to Cedric Russell. Miller in the post finds a cutting Jerikas Davis for 2.
Great finish at the rim by Davis.
Crawley down the lane! And nobody was about to get in his way either.
Not that time. That lane was left wide open. Georgia Southern doing a good job here in the second half of forcing turnovers and not allowing Raging Cajuns to get easy buckets. And has really helped them close down this deficit to 10.
Russell, pass to Davis. Shot no good, tipped out. Jackson recovers for Georgia Southern. Tukey Brown going to drive and almost lost it, but he'll get fouled. This will take us to a media timeout. Just over 11 minutes left to go. Raging Cajuns with a 10-point lead. More on this game when we come back on the 10-point lead over Georgia Southern, and holding the top 4 teams that are predicted to have a good run in the Sun Belt Conference are all playing in the state of Georgia today.
Absolutely. We're talking to Coach Marlin earlier, and he personally thought that the 4 best teams in the conference are all in the state of Georgia, with right now with Georgia Southern and Georgia State obviously being in Georgia, and then ULM at Georgia State here tonight, and obviously throwing his team in the mix as well, playing here in Statesboro tonight. And I tend to agree with him. I believe those are the 4 best teams at the end of the season. Those will have a good chance to be your 4 semifinal teams in the Sun Belt Conference tournament.
And the Warhawks losing to Georgia State earlier this afternoon, so they are 0-2 in their Georgia road trip. Louisiana trying to avoid that same fate.
Georgia Southern knocked out by Georgia State in the Sun Belt Conference tournament last year as well. In-state rivals.
There's a chance you can see these four teams end up in the conference semifinals later on. It was UT Arlington who won the conference, led by Kevin Hervey, who's now in the G League. Calvin Wishart gets it right back from Isaiah Crawley, and he knocks down a three at the corner.
The second of the game. Don't let him get hot.
And he has been a guy that has done wonders off the bench for Georgia Southern, one of two freshmen that get a good amount of playing time. However, he missed the first couple of weeks of practice due to an illness, and it took him some time to catch up and to get comfortable on the floor. 5 on the shot clock. Jarikus Davis answers back with a 3 of his own, and he's on fire.
Gant
3 of 4 from deep.
Yeah, Gant has kind of been silent so far in the second half, but Davis has picked up the slack.
Elijah McAdam will try from deep. Offensive rebound, Monte Glenn. Nice pump fake and finish down low. And there have been multiple guys who have stepped up in the absence of Ike Smith, who had back surgery over Christmas break. He will look to be reevaluated in a week. He won't play in the Eagles' 2 conference games next week against South Alabama and Troy. They look to hopefully have him back by maybe mid-February. Hopefully sooner rather than later, as the three-pointer no good as the shot clock expired for Louisiana.
Georgia Southern team has been riddled with little minor injuries. Nothing too serious other than I would say the Ike Smith one probably being the most serious of them. But Georgia Southern being riddled with small injuries here and there to some of their players. And it makes you wonder, when and if this team gets to full strength, how good can they be if they have all of their players at 100%? I mean, obviously not. No one's ever really like 100%. But having all their players back, you got to think this team could make a really dangerous run.
Well, they have not had a full, healthy roster at all this season. Everyone has been hit with the injury bug, from Calvin Wishart with the illness. Quan Jackson had an ankle injury as he misses the 3 right there. Monte Glenn had the deep bone bruise. Trey Dawkins, who we have not seen in this game yet, had a concussion. And Simeon Carter missed the first 6-7 games with a hernia. So it's taken some time for some players to feel comfortable on the floor and playing inside the rotation. Miller with the hook. Here's Crawley. Kicks out to Jackson. They swing it to Tukey Brown. Glenn being guarded by R.J. Gladney. Tries to go up and inside. Loses possession. Recovered by the Cajuns. Justin Miller will, I believe it'll be an offensive foul as he ran into Wishart. That'll take us into the media timeout. 10-point lead for Louisiana still. More action after the break on ESPN+.
Danny, most college students head home for December, but it took Raging Cajun senior Ja'Keenan Gant until today to finally get home. Gant, who grew up just 45 minutes south of Statesboro in Springfield, Georgia, attended Effingham County High School. After his high school playing career, he spent 2 seasons in Columbia, Missouri, playing SEC basketball. After his second season, he decided he needed a change of scenery. He got a call from friend Jay Wright and former high school teammate down in Louisiana. He decided, hey, why not come down to the Raging Cajuns and give us a try? Gant thought about his decision, made his decision, and hasn't looked back since. Funny enough, Danny, each of the last 2 Sun Belt Conference Players of the Year, Gant and Wright, both come from Effingham County High School. Guys.
Thank you, Griffin. Ja'Keenan Gant, a homecoming for him. Played high school ball with Jay Wright. He played AAU ball with Marcus Stroman, and the last 2 defensive players of the year in the Sun Belt, not only from the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, but from right down in Springfield, Georgia at Effingham County High.
As you can say, it's a factory for the Cajuns, you could say, down there.
And for those who have got a chance to play against Shakeen Gantt in high school, I'm one of them. He has always been a prime-time player.
Just so everyone knows on the record, Danny was dunked on.
No,
but
no, that's a lie. Don't come on here telling lies now. But he did dunk on my team, I will say that. Shot clock down to 10. Here's a 3-ball by P.J. Hardy. That one's off. Rebounded by Quan Jackson. Jackson driving, cutting, and scoring down low. Cuts the deficit down to 6. Eagles trying to garner some momentum here in the late portion of the second half. Jarekus Davis, his 3 is no good. Rebound Hardy and finds a cutting Davis. And he has been tremendous in the second half for Louisiana, now with 13 points in the second half alone.
17 points on the night, 1 behind Gantt. Like I said, Gantt has not had that big of a role here in the second half, but Davis has been doing it all.
Crawley patiently waits for his opportunity and gets the point.
Great move there by Crawley, and the high-intensity defense continues for the Eagles.
Crawley now with 11 points. On 3 of 7 shooting. Six-point ball game in Hanner. A little over 6 minutes left to play. Shot clock at 6. Stroman finds Gantt. Gantt going to take a 3 off the backboard, recovered by Brown.
Georgia Southern will let him take those kind of contested 3s all day.
And Glenn draws a foul. And Gantt slow to get up.
He's looking at that right leg again.
And maybe cramping just a little. Gantt picks up his second foul. Needs to be helped up by his team, and he not able to get up. Something with that right leg, probably his right calf muscle. Anywhere between that or his right foot. He can't even put any weight on it. Now he's able to get up. You saw him go down earlier in the half. He's had a better homecoming game tonight than he did last year when he got put into early foul trouble and wasn't much of a contributor in that game. Here's another look.
Still getting into position. And Monte Glenn fell on his left leg a little bit too, so now both legs nicked up for Gantt.
He's getting checked out by the trainer. Monte Glenn at the free throw line. And Glenn, although a 64% free throw shooter, knocked down all 4 of his shots at the charity stripe on Thursday. And at his first trip at the line, he goes 2 for 2 here today.
Now that lead down to just 4. You see Byington looking at the crowd, looking at his players, trying to get him hyped up.
Miller keeps it in bounds, but Tukey Brown recovers for Georgia Southern. Wishart pump fakes, gets contact, and he'll go to the line.
Georgia Southern finding their rhythm offensively here in the second half. A couple 3s here and there. And doing what they love to do is get to that basket.
The best opportunity for the Eagles to get back into this game is at the free throw line. They are 12 of 18, 12 of 19 from the charity stripe. They're shooting 42% from the field. They have not been at their best from beyond the arc, 5 of 25. Wishart knocks down the second. He has 7 points.
Now we are in a one-possession game, Danny.
Intercepted by Quan Jackson. Jackson goes up and scores.
Second in the Sun Belt and steals, 19th in the country, doing it again.
And now McCadden with the pickpocket. Jump ball, and possession goes to the Eagles.
Monte Glenn standing on chairs, looking at the crowd, trying to get him hype. Gant now checking back in.
Louisiana will call a timeout with 5:8. Eagles have a chance to take the lead for the first time since the first half with this possession. Dookie Brown, Elijah McCadden, Quan Jackson, Calvin Wishart, and Simeon Carter on the floor for the Eagles. Brown gets the lead for Georgia Southern.
Just like that, a 17-point deficit gone. Georgia Southern leads by 1.
Tried to go for another jump ball. That's going to be a foul on the Eagles. So what a comeback for Georgia Southern, down by as much as 18 points.
Here we are.
And now the first lead of the half.
Now we're really in this half really getting to see why these two offenses are some of the best in the Sun Belt.
The foul will be on Elijah McCadden. He picks up his second.
You got to wonder when the Graydon Cage are going to start looking to Gant. I know he's been soft, not as efficient in this half, but he's still their best player.
Hardy knocks down a three. And P.J. Hardy, 3 of 7 from deep. He has 12 points overall tonight. Dookie Brown stripped by Cedric Russell.
Monte Glenn, Isaiah Crawley looking like they're going to check back in a minute.
Foul on the floor. McCadden picks up his third. Only the 5th team foul for the Eagles. 10 team fouls for Louisiana. So the Eagles just have to drive to the basket and get contact, and they'll go to the line every time.
And that's what they have been doing. That's what they do oh so well.
So Glenn and Crawley in for the Eagles. Stroman inbound from the baseline for the Cajuns. Wishart deflected. He goes up and finishes.
And that's one of those moments you were talking about, Danny, where we see the potential in Calvin Wishart.
He's going to go to the line to complete the three-point play. That one rolls out. Didn't go in for the freshman. So we are tied at 74 at the 4-minute mark. Miller finds Russell. Russell waits for his moment, can't finish. Tip in by Gant. Eagles wasting no time. Jackson up and under. Almost got the finish. And a foul's going to be called on Miller. And that's Miller's 5th foul. He's done for the day.
The Raging Cajuns are in disbelief.
Bob Marlin's livid. He's out there on the floor trying to see what happened. This will take us into
fouls out of the Raging Cajuns, and now that's paying dividends for them.
An electric atmosphere inside Hanner the weekend before classes begin. Plenty of students returning back to Statesboro. Monte Glenn will shoot at the line. He's awarded 2 free throws, knocks down the first. It's the second, and we're tied at 76. Eagles will also be awarded possession. Wishart the inbounder. Eagles have a chance to retake the lead here. Crawley kicks out to Wishart. Wishart finds Crawley down low on the post. 7 on the clock. Crawley waits for his moment and scores with the right hand.
A 4-point little stretch there for the Eagles has them now up again by 2.
Not many ties and lead changes, just 4 of each. And makes that number double here in the final 3 minutes. Stroman finds Gant at the post. Hardy, shot clock at 7. Gant kicks back out to Hardy. Hardy takes the 3 for the lead. Takes a high bounce. Rebound Crawley. Almost has it stripped away and get to the Tukey Brown in time.
This is exactly the kind of contest you want to see if you're the Sun Belt between 2 of your top teams. Raging Cajuns up by 9 at half. Now Georgia Southern comes storming back. And we're in for an exciting final 2.5 minutes.
Shot clock at 9. Jackson. Hand off to Brown. A foul. No, the foul is going to be on the Eagles. It'll be on Quan Jackson. Just his first foul. And the 16th foul, so one more will put Louisiana in the bonus. Georgia Southern with 3 timeouts left. Louisiana with just 1. Marcus Stroman drives, goes up, draws the foul, and he is down on the floor. Will get helped up by Gant. And now that is Brown has 4 fouls.
Yeah. Got to be careful about that, too.
You don't want to have your leading scorer foul out of the game. Marcus Stroman is a stat sheet stuffer for Louisiana, a pass-first point guard. He has 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's had some trouble controlling the ball. 8 turnovers tonight as well. He hits both, and we're tied up again at 78. Final 2 minutes in this pivotal Sun Belt Conference game. Tukey Brown drives down the lane. Off the glass and in.
Like I said earlier, come back from half, one of the best finishers at the basket you'll see around.
Stroman trying to get past Calvin Wishart, and Wishart picks up a foul, his second. So Stroman's going to go to the line once again. Things have gotten physical in the last couple of minutes.
Quickly. Couldn't see his feet that well in the replay, so I couldn't tell they were set.
Majority of the students on their feet. This has been a unique battle of these conferences' top 2 scoring teams, and we're tied again at 80.
This does mark the 100th time.
Jackson for 3. No good, and we're going the other way.
This does mark the 100th time that since the 2013-14 season that the Raging Cajuns have scored 80 points in a game. Now, you mentioned earlier they were behind only some powerhouse programs, so that is a pretty notable accomplishment.
However, Monte Glenn picks up his 4th foul, and Jakeenan Gant at the line to potentially give Louisiana the lead. Gant has not been as effective in the second half in the first half. He does have a double-double, 21 points and 10 rebounds. He also has 4 blocks.
He is stepping up right now. It's a really step up for team, sinking both of these.
2-point lead for the Cajuns. Now in the final minutes, Jackson at the wing. Gets a screen from Glenn. Wishart for the lead. No good. Rebounded by Gant. Raging Cajuns can let some time go off the clock here. No pressure to extend the lead. And Bob Marlin's going to call his final timeout.
Just want to make it known that this is a very eerily similar situation to what Thursday night happened, where Georgia Southern had the buzzer beater.
Louisiana has a chance to potentially ice the game for bucket here. 19 on the shot clock, so after the shot, the Eagles will have about 20 seconds.
On Georgia Southern,
try and tie and take the lead.
You got to keep your eye on Gant Davis. Gant's one of the best players in the conference, if not the best, but Davis has had the hot hand here in the second half.
Shot clock at 10. Stroman at the wing. Stroman going to go to work. Stroman goes up, and Stroman scores. 2-possession game with less than 30 ticks to play. And Mark Byington will now call a timeout. So now the Eagles have to score and foul right out of the gate. And if you do score, who do you potentially foul?
They're shooting from the free throw line exceptionally well.
83%, 15 of 18. Another question is, do you go for a 2 here or a 3 if you're Georgia Southern?
I think you got to go for a 2 here, just about, because that'll still make it a 1-possession game.
Brown to Jackson, wide open, corner 3, good!
I think there might be ice running through his veins.
And he's holding his midsection. Keep him.
You need him on there. If you have the possibility for overtime, getting a shot to get you overtime, you got to have Tukey out there, so be careful.
And a smart move, Byington taking Brown out to avoid him possibly picking up his 5th foul.
Absolutely. Very, very smart move.
Stroman at the corner. Eagles trying to trap. Jackson gets a steal. Jackson goes up. Eagles take the lead, but no, it's called traveling. Traveling violation on Georgia Southern. Jackson with an incredible steal, but a traveling violation called on the redshirt sophomore.
Hanner Fieldhouse is in absolute disbelief.
And I'm not sure if that's traveling. He got up with one foot. But nonetheless, Raging Cajuns get it right back. Another steal. This time recovered by Wishart. Is it a jump ball or a foul? It's a jump ball. Possession will go to Louisiana. Things have gotten physical
and almost,
here in the second half.
Almost a couple costly turnover by the Raging Cajuns.
You got to be careful and be mindful of the quick hands of Quan Jackson, one of the conference's top stealers, averaging over 2 per game.
Tukey's still not in the game, still does not want to get called for a foul.
And time is almost running out, just under 13 seconds. The Eagles have done a great job trying to get a steal rather than foul, but as time continues to wind down, they may have to go for a foul here. The inbound to Stroman, and Wishart's going to foul Stroman.
This will be Stroman's first trip to the line.
Eagles number 10, Calvin Wishart, his 3rd. Team's 10th.
Will be taking his 7th and 8th free throw. So far, he's a perfect 6 of 6.
And obviously Quan Jackson was. We might have the same situation after that timeout right there. Now Byington's trying to get the crowd in it.
So Jackson and Wishart need to be ready again. No timeouts for either team. Byington looks on. Stroman hits both. 3-point game. 11 seconds left. Eagles need to go for the tie. Brown instead goes up for 2. Blocked by Gant. And it's recovered by Jeremy Hayes. And the Eagles have no choice but to foul. Jakeenan Gant and his return to Southeast Georgia. His 5th block of the night may have sealed the deal for the Raging Cajuns.
I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just pure athleticism.
And senior leadership as well from Jakeenan Gant. I understand what the Eagles were trying to do there. Go for the quick 2 and maybe another foul or try to go for a turnover.
That was their plan the other night.
So Jeremy Hayes at the line and makes it a 2-possession game. They're sending Jakeenan Gant down to the other side of the floor, and 3 other members of the Raging Cajuns. Misses the second 4-point game. Brown has to go down the lane. He gets a shot off at the buzzer. It counts, but Louisiana will escape Statesboro with a win, 87-85. It will improve to 2-2 in the Sun Belt Conference, and Bob Marlin is fired up for his team.